Welcome back, Sasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I have for you the Petrified Fish PFP01 Beluga. The Beluga comes in at $47. You can pick it up on Amazon, White Mountain Knives, and eBay. Those are the dealers I know of as of right now. And let's get some specs out of the way so you have an idea of the size of the knife. You have an 8 1/4 inch overall length, a blade length of 3 5/8 inches, grip area of 4 1/8 inches, a handle thickness of 0.57 inches, and a close width in the pocket of a pretty wide 1.45 inches, and a blade stock thickness of 0.146 inches, and a behind the edge thickness on my particular knife of around 14 thousandths, sharpened at 20 degrees per side. Before we go any further, let's do a little cutting with the Beluga and see how well it does. Alright, we're going to cut up some cardboard with the factory edge. The thing came ridiculously sharp. Alrighty, it sliced outstanding. The handle was comfortable, and I felt like the first few cuts I didn't just letting the weight of the blade do it. Let's see if it's still good. Try to do it quick so I can heat up that edge. That way, you know, it's kind of like cutting a lot more. Alright, still screaming sharp. Alrighty, we're gonna attempt to cut some of this 1/2 inch twisted sisal rope. We're going to shoot for 20, may do more, may do less, depending on how it is. Alrighty, wow. This thing went through that rope like it was nothing. I made 40 cuts, and let's see how that edge is doing up there in the front. Very impressive. Oh, still screaming sharp. Alright, we're going to test the ergos and see how well the edge is still biting in this pine. 2x4, we're going to start out light cuts and then put some more pressure behind it. Alrighty, you can see up here in the front, started out fine, and then worked my way into see how deep I could cut into it. It was biting into the wood pretty darn nicely. This one has been surprising me so far. Let's see if it's still razor sharp like it was earlier. Oh, hold on, let me wipe it off my pants. Ooh-wee. I call that sharp. Let's do a slow cut. Yep. She's sharp. Alright, we're going to cut up several different types of material. Start with the seatbelt material, and then I'll put the name of the other stuff on the screen. Very nice. Wow. Okay, you can see that's how thick this denim was, and this is the pockets, the part with the pockets and stuff like that. So it had the extra material. Look, and he went through the logo. This knife has really impressed me. Came ridiculously sharp and seems to be staying that way. Oh yeah. Let's see if we can do a slow cut. Yeah, I call that still ridiculous. But I'll just behind the camera. Let me back out. Alrighty, there might be a small hang up right up in here. Just a small hang up. Other than that, edge is great. Alrighty, I hope y'all enjoyed that cutting footage. I enjoyed making it for y'all, but let's take a closer look at the Beluga. This knife surprised me in so many ways. You have this nice drop point blade, very broad blade, nice and slicey. If you couldn't tell in the cutting, it was effortless, pretty much everything I did. You have these dual fullers on here. You have a bead blasted finish on this K110 blade steel, which is basically the same as D2 steel, and it is not considered a stainless. However, it's very close. And you also have the model number on this side. I'm guessing that is the maker's mark right there. I can't really make it out. It looks like a monkey or something. I don't know. You have a nice and robust tip. If you have to do any, get any splinters out or digging into some wood or something like that. You do have jimping, but it is pretty much inset into that frame, so you're not really getting any traction from it, but you don't need it. I felt locked in. You get a nice flat to put your thumb on. You do have a sharpening tool that does clear the plunge line just by a little bit, but it does, so I got to give him props on that. Let's close it up. Now moving on to deployment, you have a very nice and snappy, fast opening, and you have multiple opening methods. You have a front flipper up here that protrudes just a little bit, but you can get a nice front flip action on it. You got a nice drop shut action. This thing's on ceramic bearings and ceramic detent. I mean, very, very smooth. These dual fullers, you can use them to spidey flick the knife very easily. You can thumb flick it, or you can roll it out. And if you want to two-hand deploy it because you're trying to be a little less noticeable, you can do that as well. As far as all the opening methods, the spidey flicking is probably my favorite, then probably the thumb, and my least favorite is probably the front flipper. I found that the front flipper is a little bit pokey. It's not sharp, but if you slip and you miss that, it's going to drag on your fingers and not be super comfortable. But I'm not a huge front flipper fan, so don't really, take that for too much. All right, let's move on to the handle. You have some nice smooth G10 that is fully contoured, pretty neutral grip on here, and you have a semi-decorative pivot with the PF logo on here, Petrified Fish logo on here, T8 on the pivot, T6 on the body screws and on the clip. The clip is just a bent stainless clip with the name of the knife on it, deep carry all the way to the end, and it is tip up left or right hand carry. Let's see what it looks like in the pocket real quick. It goes in fairly nice, sits all the way down and up against the side of that pocket. You got enough room to pull it out. My only complaint on the clip is instead of just having the slope up right there, they bent it down. It just can get caught a little bit. I think they should just cut that part off and just leave the ramp up like that. It would have been just fine. The ergos were really good, pretty much in all grips. You have that wide handle and the neutral grip in here from there's no crazy swoops in the handle. That wide handle really fills out the hand, and those contoured scales make it really comfortable in all grips. This grip, the saber grip, hammer grip was probably most comfortable, and even the reverse grip is pretty good. Close it back up. You do have a G10 backspacer that has the hidden lanyard post in the back. I love when they do that, so then I'll put an extra hole when it's not needed. You have stainless steel liner lockups, about 50%, rock solid, no up and down, no side to side. Access to that lock bar is good because you have this nice little cutout right here to make it easy to disengage. When you do disengage it, if you don't push it right past this area, it's gonna be a little bit harder to disengage. But I usually let the nub right there fall on my finger and then just let it fall because it's super smooth. Alrighty, let's get a weight on this bad boy, and then we will do size comparisons and then it picks. 154 grams, 5.43 ounces, which is perfectly fine with me. This is going to be, a more beefier work style knife, in my opinion. Let's get some size comparisons. You have the Ontario Rat Model 1 and the Rat Model 2. And as you can see, it's much similar in length to the Rat Model 1, but the Beluga's a good bit wider. One knife that it kind of reminded me of a little bit is the Cold Steel American Lawman, just in that blade shape. The Lawman is a little bit shorter, and the Beluga is a ton bit slicier than the Cold Steel American Lawman. And here's the Civivi Riffle, another one that has that wide, broad blade. And I still find that this is a better slicer than the Riffle, and the Riffle is one of my favorite budget knives of this year so far. I don't know, will the Beluga kick it out? We'll have to wait and see. All right, nitpicks and complaints. I'm not a huge fan of a blasted finish. I think you can get it in a coated blade. Actually, I know you can. I actually have one on order because I like the knife that much, if it tells you anything. At $47, the action is up there with some of my way more expensive knives. The K110 is done right. It's very slicey if you're looking for something like that. And I can overlook the bead blast finish. You're just going to have to take care of that more because it being a non-stainless, you're definitely going to want to protect that blade. You should be protecting all your blades anyway. Also, I talked on it a little bit. That point on the flipper tab right there is not a problem unless you miss that flipper tab. I've accidentally slid off of there like that, and talk about that hurt. Just did it just to show y'all, and right there, it wasn't the most comfortable. Maybe if they could have knocked that back a little bit. I don't know. But other than that, I definitely recommend this one. This will be on my recommendation list for sure. The clip works fine, but with thicker pants, you may have an issue. I don't even know if I showed it. It is heavily skeletonized in there. Excellent buy. If you're on the fence about it, I'd definitely say go pick you up one. All right, guys and girls, I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.